Hi parents, it's Kelly Pfeiffer with Think It Through Parenting, and the reason that I call my business Think It Through Parenting is because I want parents to stop and take a few seconds to think it through before responding to a child. Because many times as parents, we respond with just the first thing that comes to our minds, or we respond from the stress and the emotion that we're feeling about what's going on, maybe a misbehavior issue with a child. And so I'm hoping to teach parents to just stop, press the pause button first, take a few breaths if needed, and then respond. Most situations allow for that few seconds to pause. So in this video, I'm going to share 7 things you can do when your child is yelling, 7 different ways to respond. And some of these work better in some situations and some of them work better in different situations. So I will offer 7 that you can choose from. So as I go through, kind of self-assess and think, yeah, I think this would work for me and my child, or I don't think my child's ready for that, wherever you are. So one thing I love about positive discipline is we have lots of different tools to choose from. So you can choose, one parent might like one better and another parent might like another tool better, and that's perfectly okay. We all have our own preferences. And then another thing I love about positive discipline tools is lots of times the positive discipline tool is teaching a skill while we're addressing a behavior issue. So whenever we can get that twofer, we deal with the behavior at the moment, plus we're teaching a tool and teaching a skill on top of that. That is helping to prevent this behavior in the future by teaching a new skill. So that's another thing I just love about these positive discipline tools. So here are 7 ways you can respond to your child when your child is yelling. So the first way is you're going to model the behavior that you want to see. And so instead of yelling back, you're going to stay calm. I know that's not always possible. So when you are not able to stay calm and you catch yourself, then here's what you're going to model instead. You've yelled and then you say, wait, I want to do over. Let's pretend I didn't yell. I'm starting over now. And then start over. You can call it a do-over. You can call it a rewind. But you are modeling that skill. And that's the skill you would love for your child to have too. That when your child starts to yell, he or she catches himself and says, wait, I want to do over. Now I'm going to start again. So that's one tool you can use, one way to respond. Another way is just to simply ask your child with a respectful request. Will you try that again? And we try to keep things as short as possible. If your child's not understanding that, say, will you try that again in a different way? Will you say that again in a different way? If your child still doesn't get that, then you'll have to be really specific. Can you say that again with a calmer voice? So you're just making a polite request when your child yells. That's idea number 2. Another way that you can respond is by using an iMessage and stating what you will do. I'm willing to listen when you talk in a calm voice. So instead of saying, you can't talk to me that way, or you need to lower your voice, you're going to use an iMessage. I will listen when you talk in a calm voice. And I'd like to use some of these positive discipline tool cards. I used some of these last week. I'll tell you more about those at the end of the video. But this iMessage is an example of decide what you will do. I talked about this tool last week in a different way. But this way we can decide what we will do. I will listen when you talk calmly. The next way that you can respond is to say, let's hug first. This works really well for toddlers when they're yelling, hey, come on, need a hug. Let's calm down. I hope you calm down. We'll calm down together. Now, what were you trying to tell me? So for young children, that's great. And it works well with older children, but often parents would rather use a different tool. So that corresponds with this positive discipline tool card of connection before correction. So you're going to make an emotional connection with your child just through the hugging. There's different ways that you could make connection with your child when your child is yelling, hey, what's going on? This is not like you. Something must be wrong. So many ways, but just a simple hug is the way that I want to suggest today. And then we're up to, let's see, number 5. You're going to respond in this way. Would it help for you to go calm down first? And you're implying first before you talk to me again, or first before you try to talk. So often children get so overwhelmed and they're yelling, and that's all they can do at the moment. So they need to go calm down, take some deep breaths, some way to calm down before they can speak in a calm way. So this relates to the positive discipline tool card of the anger wheel of choice. So an anger wheel of choice is a wheel. You can make this with your child and put pictures, so even non-readers, preschoolers can read the wheel of choice with some ideas on how to calm down. So there's one picture with a child hammering one of those hammering toys that you hammer and you flip over and you hammer and you flip over. So this helps teach children different ways they can calm down, because we aren't born knowing how to calm down. And that's a really important life skill to teach children. And as they get older, they can even get more tools instead of the hammering toy. But for young children, they can start with something like that. So that's that anger wheel of choice. I'll probably do a whole video about this one tool card in the future. But again, that response is, would it help to go calm down first before you try to tell me what you're trying to tell me? Okay, idea number 6 is this tool card of validate your child's feelings. So sometimes when a child is yelling, we just know that's all the child can handle at the moment. Let's say it's kind of a really big emotional event in the child's life. Maybe your pet dies, your family pet dies, and your child is so upset and he's kind of crying and yelling and just can't figure out how to handle such a big emotional situation. And you're not even going to expect that the child can talk calmly, because you understand it's such a big emotional thing to handle. So with validating feelings, you might say, oh, you're so sad that Sparky died. I know, we're all so sad. And hugs. And so sometimes you just know your kid is just yelling and that's all that he can do, because kind of appropriate. So you're going to validate your feelings and be there for your child. And you can use this anytime your child is yelling. But this is just kind of getting through that moment. It's a crisis moment. You know your child's doing the best he can. And it's not a teachable moment either. Your kid's sad and you want to be there for him. So if you know it's that kind of situation and your child's yelling, you can try that. And one time I did this with my son when he was in 6th grade. It was like the first few weeks of middle school, and middle school is such a big adjustment. And he was super stressed. Every day he came home and he ended up yelling, and I was able to stay calm, and I just validated whatever he was yelling about. Like, he was mad about something, and I said, you're really mad about this, blah, 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 blah. And he got it out. And then we both felt better and hugged. And it just worked to validate the feelings first before the hug, so we could get to the hug and then really talk about what was going on. And I realized he was just really stressed from all the big changes in middle school. So now we have one final way number 7. And this is similar to number 3 idea, where you say, I'm willing to listen when you speak in a more calm way. But number 7 is when you feel like you just are going to have to walk away. It's one of those situations where You think you know you're going to be yelling soon if you stay in the situation. So you walk away to take care of yourself. So you stay calm and sort of to take care of your child at the same time, because you're like, I can't hold this yelling behavior and stay calm much longer. I've got to go take care of myself, step away so that I won't be joining in on the yelling, joining in on the power struggle. And then the second way you might use this is if you're feeling really almost attacked. I remember my teenagers were dealing with all those extra emotions, and sometimes it felt just really kind of big, when those emotions were coming out. So if your child is yelling and you're just feeling like you can't hold it together for yourself, it feels too disrespectful. It feels, sometimes when your child's hitting you and yelling, like toddlers will do that sometimes, walk away. That's what this last idea is. Walk away. You can say to your child, come and get me when you calm down. And sometimes you might have to walk away and go in a room and shut the door. There are situations where your child is just too far gone, too out of control to hear any of the other ideas. And maybe you need to take care of yourself a little bit in that situation. And then as soon as the child's calm and they come to get you, be there with those open arms, because that was an emotional event and the child usually wants to make that repair. Like, you walking away feels really scary because it's a separation of the person they love and trust the most. So as soon as they're ready to come back and find you and say, I'm calm, be there with open arms to hug and go, oh, wow, that was something really big going on. And then that might be a good time to talk about what happened and get some more information. What were you mad about? What happened? And what caused all those feelings for you? And then what can you do next time? So then you can go back into that skill teaching. You can choose something from the wheel of choice. You can walk away and go calm down. So there's so many ways to teach in positive discipline. But remember, we can only teach when both parent and child are calm. So those are the teachable moments, not when the child is yelling. I mean, I showed you how you could model, but really the recognition of what new skill to use for the child doesn't happen when he's yelling. It happens kind of once the yelling is gone and the child reflects on, oh, maybe I can start over. Oh, maybe I can go calm down first and use that anger wheel of choice. It's a process. So with this idea of children yelling, it's not like we're going to do one of these strategies once or twice or 3 times and the problem of yelling is solved. Yelling is something that for many of us, it happens because of the stress response in the brain. So kids are going to yell at different times in their lives when they get frustrated. It's just how our body responds. We get stressed, we yell. So this is none of these tools are, I'm not suggesting that they're going to say, okay, your kid's not going to yell anymore. But it's a way to respond that helps you keep your self-respect, also either models and or teaches a life skill, and then hopefully prevents some yelling in the future, because your child may use one of those skills that you've taught or modeled. Either I'm doing this over, or I'm going to go calm down first. Anyway, it's a process. Baby steps for you. Think about that for you. Be kind with yourself when you're learning new skills. You'll make mistakes. Be kind to your kids, okay, let's try it again. So a lot of learning is about making mistakes and then reflecting on it and saying, okay, what can we do differently the next time? So think about yelling in those terms. It's not like you're going to get yelling to go away forever and ever and ever. It's a lifelong skill that I have worked on my whole life. I've gotten pretty good at it using these positive discipline tools. And you will get better as you make mistakes, learn from them, try again, and then hopefully feel really good about finally getting it and modeling and teaching the skill that you want your child to have too. So I'm Kelly Pfeiffer. I am a positive discipline lead trainer. I've been teaching parenting workshops, positive discipline parenting workshops for 17 years, and I love helping families. And if you want to rewind this video and watch it again and kind of pick, okay, which idea do I really want to try this week and change my response to my child for yelling? So you can rewind, maybe write down your ideas. And these tool cards that I mentioned before, you can get these as this printed set on positivediscipline.com website. You can also get them as an app on your phone, a one-time price of $2.99. So you can have these in 2 minutes at your app store if you want to get them that way. So these were developed by Jane Nelson from her book, Positive Discipline, and all the wonderful tools that we have. And then Adrian Garcia helped with the graphics on this. He's a positive discipline parent educator who teaches school and uses positive discipline in the classroom. Anyway, I hope you have a great week using a new approach for when your child is yelling.